Morning, guys. Mark Fresh, Protect Dog Training in Benzo. You notice I got a crate out here today. I kind of wanted to go over some basics, some things that are just so standard that most dog trainers don't even talk about it, right? One of those things is a kind of a little, not a lecture, but just a little overview that I give most of my customers, talking about tools, leashes, collars, crates, muzzles, okay? So that gets into how much is training and how much is management when you're dealing with a dog, right? A lot of people are so anti with crates and this and that. They think because they want to humanize their dog, they don't want to use the tool. A dog is a den animal. He feels very comfortable once he gets used to this. And Benzo has an anti. He has a negative association to that kennel because the owners have tried to put him in it a couple times, 3 or 4 times, and their point of view, this when I picked him up, was that he hates the muzzle, or excuse me, the crates. So we got him in it when we did that with some food, throwing it in there, and he kind of got forced, but again, and that reaffirmed his negative, right? So we got to take it very slow. Remember what I always say, take your time. Always too fast, never too slow. You'll see me very methodically. There'll be other trainers that might judge me because I take so long. I take my time. Turn it into a positive association so I can have this be something that creates a warm and fuzzy feeling with the dog. Easy, easy, easy. Come here. He's reacting because he already got forced into this. He hates it, and this is his reaction. See it? This is because people didn't know what they were doing. Quit. Quit with association with something, and they've created a negative association. So this is the sort of thing that as a trainer I have to climb through and get this dog to a point that he can accept it. It's not going to be easy, right? Again, people don't know what they're doing, and they don't understand things. And so they, look at that, right when I even get him near the kennel, he balks and starts going crazy. So this is the sort of thing I don't know until I started experiencing it. Then I see it, and I know we have a problem, all right? So keep in mind that to really develop this dog, I want to get him out in public. People, places, things, environment does so much for you in your training programs. And if I can't take the dog anywhere and I can't put him in a kennel, it's a major problem, okay? So these folks have done everything wrong, okay? And it's not their fault. It's a matter that this is the natural reaction to most people. Get a cute puppy. Oh, I want me a Malinois. Take him home, and they think they're, and then they get high on the fact the dog's a puppy. And so they dwell in this, oh, how cute, and they're not doing anything to develop the dog. They're just humanizing him and petting him, right? And that's for us. That's our emotional needs. What does it do for the dog? You didn't do anything for the dog, okay? So if you have your hat on properly and put the proper hat on your head for the function of developing a dog, notice I didn't say the word training. I said develop, okay? Just like you'd want to develop strength in a child to go on in the world and face the world. And you've heard me talk about it, the same thing. So with the dogs, the same thing. Your mental attitude when you get a puppy should be that you want to develop that dog to be the strongest dog that you can to enjoy them later in life. I can't take this dog anywhere. He's aggressive. He might bite other people. He's got all kinds of problems. And there's all kinds of different people that do this in society as a whole. The Connie Corsos and the Presa Canarios, and those dogs are going crazy with their breeders that are breeding the heck out of them. They're a good dog, don't get me wrong, but they have their genetic stamps that make them who they are. And so as a puppy, they're the cutest things on God's green earth, and people sit at home with them and they're so cute. They get to be friendly with the family, and then as he gets older, they try to go somewhere and do something with the animal, and because they haven't broke the dog into these tools that we need to use, you're going to have nothing but fight. Now, if I have an emergency out here, I live in an area that's California that we have fires all the time. We just had a fire up here that I was posting on last year that was just over the top. I would have had to evacuate and take off. If I have to evacuate, I have to go to an evacuation area. They're going to require my dog to be able to be contained in a crate. And if you can't put the dog in a crate, look what's going to happen to you. You're going to be freaking out and saying, what do I do? Okay? Remember, tools, there's a reason that we use these tools. They're a functional item that we need. How much is training? How much is management, right? So you have to understand that and get your head into, I have to manage this animal, right? And also, I want to develop this dog into, good boy, you're okay. Good boy, you're okay. Come on, I'm not going to force you. I got to figure out what I need to do. I might have to force him and then teach him that he doesn't have a choice, but I don't want to do that because that's what they've already done to him. Look at him. Okay, he's doing that because he's got a negative reaction. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to let him come in, come out, and he did it on his own without me trying to force him, because they've tried to force this dog. He's got a negative association to it. Yep, come on, good boy, good. There you go. So I'm going to turn it into a positive. And notice what happened when my body language said that I wasn't trying. He went in on his own, right? And that's because somebody's trying to force him to do something, and they don't know what they're doing. Okay, and again, I'm not trying to bag on the owners because the owner don't realize, guys. To the owner, when I talk about all this stuff, I talk in a very general overview. Okay, because these generalities are consistent with society. I run into this stuff doing this all my life and dealing with people. I've dealt with as many people. I talk about it all the time. I've had thousands of dogs under my belt. What does that mean? That means that I've had thousands of people under my belt too. So my whole point of view is realizing that education and teaching you and getting you to understand the whole ins and outs of your animal is what I'm really after. Because in the end, you getting quality service and really getting value out of the service that I'm giving you is all about your education, right? It's not the dog. Dog to me is a piece of cake, okay? It's the owner that really matters, because the owner is going to be the one that makes the difference. And you and how you treat your dog and what you do and how your perception, we'll come back to that word again, how you conceive of what training is, okay? He's not a robot. He's a very emotional creature that has dog psychology. He's a dog. He's an animal. He's not a friggin' robot, right? And we make it look so easy. We got all this fancy stuff going on, all these trainers that eat, breathe, and sleep. The dogs, you make it look all fancy and stuff, but again, it's more about the society's perception on what we're doing through our videos and through our whole actions as professionals and heavy hobbyists that we get into sports, we get into whatever we're into. It's all about what the public perceives and what you're putting out. Maybe it feeds your ego. You feel great because you got this dog doing all this fancy stuff and it's good stuff. But if you're a professional trainer, remember the biggest thing and the most important thing that you can ever do is not the dog. It's the education of the owner that's going to make this dog's life be so much greater and get the owner into doing things with their animal. I was watching one of Michael Ellis's videos the other day, and he had a class. He was talking about, it's a lot harder to motivate the person. The human being is a big challenge. The dog to us is easy. I can motivate him because I know what I'm doing. I understand the dog's nature. I can do all kinds of things. Down, down. You don't want to go down, huh? Yeah. So again, tools are there to be able to increase the quality of the life of the dog and give us what we call control factors. My leash is a control factor. The dog can't go past me, go run across the park and create a problem with another dog if he's on a leash, right? So that's why we use leashes. It's to protect the animals and other people that are in our environments, right? So same thing with a muzzle. Right now, I've got a dog that I have a feeling could be aggressive to somebody he doesn't know. They walk up, try to pet him, he's going to, okay? So bottom line is we have to have a tool. We have to have something that we have as a management tool, control factor that allows us to have more freedom, because the dog in this muzzle can drink, can breathe, can do all kinds of things with it because of the way it's designed. Okay, if you look at that, plenty of breathing space, and I can even do things like cut out the front. There's all kinds of little tricks, but this is a knockoff of another brand that I use a lot, but it's a well put together. I like it, right? And so I think that we're going to use this for him, and I'll use this as a food bowl, right? Nope, good boy, good. What is that? What is that? Huh? What is that? Good boy, good. Good boy. And with him, he's so intelligent. He really is. He's a smart guy. Malinois in general are very intelligent, right? Nope, come here. Good boy, good. There you go. You're all right. Up. So again, tools are there for a reason. That was kind of cool because it accented my whole point. Here I am trying to get him into the kennel, and he thought he was going to be forced into it, and he right away had a negative association. Why? Because his only association is them trying to make him get into that. They're not doing the job they need to do to take their time, develop the dog into enjoying this, make this a positive thing, right? Good boy, good. You ready? Are you? Huh? Are you ready? Since you're into the game, let's do this. We'll go ahead and just do the crate game today, huh? Yeah. Good boy, good. We're going to take it slow with him because he's a good dog. He really is. He just didn't get any development, right? Good boy, good. You're all right. Come on. good boy, good. We're just going to play this game till he doesn't have a negative association at the kennel at all, and then it'll turn into a positive association. Yep, because we'll be going somewhere. When I came into the kennel today, I put the pinch collar on him, and right away after the pinch collar's on him, we're going out the door. He gets to go out and do things. So this will turn into a very positive thing, and his association on the pinch will be that it goes on right before we go out. See? So all these things, you got to think about the dog's mental attitude towards things and take your time. Yep, good boy, take your time. I'll do this a couple, maybe 2, even 3 days. Make it a very positive thing. Then I'll start shutting the door. Good boy, good boy. Yep, good boy. Yep, come on, come on. There you go, good boy. That Benzo, that Benzo. We're just going to take our time, huh, Benzo? Now he's going into it on his own. And that was nothing more than me stopping my attitude of wanting him to go in there. Right away, he balked because he thought I was going to force him into the kennel. What's his, because this is what the customers have done. And it's not their fault. Bottom line is, again, back to when I'm yakking at the screen, I'm doing all this, I'm talking to very general. I never mention the customer's name. The society doesn't even know who the hell you are, okay? So I'm always going to be frank and honest, and you may not like some of the things I say. This goes to the owner, but at the same time, realize it's because it's tough love, guys. It's something that I need to make sure that I educate you and teach you and get you to change your perspective and how you treat the dog if you're going to get the value out of the service that I give. Again, back to my whole premise. Dog training is not just about heel, sit down, stay, right? It's a lot of emotional things going on in this dog's head. He's an emotional creature, and I need to treat him properly. And sometimes I'll get kind of rough. A little tough love, right? Good boy, good. You ready? Are you? Are you ready? We're going to do this a little bit today. Yeah, we are. We're going to leave it station set up like this today. I'm already out of hot dogs because I'm being very liberal with them. My 3 hot dog limit is already gone. And that's not a problem. We have a very positive association towards something I need to work on. And we're on our way, right? Again, dog training is not all about heel, sit down, stay, right? Yep. And people don't even talk about this. Dog trainers don't talk about their equipment. They don't talk, well, they do in a way, but they don't get into it like me. How much is management and how much is training, right? We have to have these things in our environment that make things very useful to be able to use, and the dog's mental attitude about them is very important. Kennel, good boy, Kennel, good boy, good, there you go. Good boy, Bruno, Benzo, you're okay, you're okay. Yeah, I see you. I see you. Make it a very positive thing. Yeah, I see you. We're building our relationship, huh, buddy? Huh? Yeah, good boy, here you go. Take your time, baby steps, and we'll get there, right? That's why I always tell people, you're paying me for my time, guys. And if you're looking at me and thinking that I want to heel, sit down, stay, and I want a robot, you don't want to come to me. You're going to get it when you keep working for it, right? Good boy, good. Yep, good boy, good. All right, let's keep working on our down. Come on, come on. Nope. See, that puts us there. Remember, when you're going to teach it down, you got to make sure the dog's in a sit position first. Otherwise, you'll get what's happening here. Good. Yep. Good boy. Good. There you go. Gonna be some work to get you in that down. Again, same thing. They probably try to force him into a down. There's a dominance going on. Down is one of the hardest commands to teach because it's a submissive position. And a lot of dogs don't want to be put in a submissive. They feel vulnerable. All right. So you have to understand that. And this dog has things that have been done in a fashion that people aren't thinking, and they don't understand how to develop a dog to be a strong individual, strong canine in that regards, right? These things are important whether you realize it or not. Yes, good boy, good. Yes, yes, good boy. All right, clicker comes out. Where is it? Where is it? All right, there it is. I knew I'd put it in here because I took it out of my other training pouch, my apron. Yep. Good. 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 We're just loading clicker, right? Just letting them hear the sound. Good. Remember, it's a terminal bridge marker, so I clicked early, but right away it's in the drive, so we're all right. Good boy. I'm going to put him back and come back in about a half hour, 45 minutes. Work him again. We're going to do a lot of, we're working them a couple times a day, but we're ready to start going 2-3 times a day and start working towards some objectives and goals, which is getting him into the muzzle, getting him in the crate where he feels totally relaxed with it, and turning it into a very positive tool that we need so I can travel and go out in public. That's our next goals. You always want to think about what you're going to work on ahead of time. So that's where he's at. And then one of those things, remember, everything's in patterns of 2s and 3s. So 1, 2, and then am I down, right? And then the clicker, there's a bunch of other little things we'll be kind of showing him as we go along, but that's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm out. I am out. We're done. Oh, what happened? What happened, silly boy? And the other thing I want to do is start showing him balls. And he's going to get excited when he sees this. Oh, good boy. Get it, go. I'm going to get him high on the balls to take his mind off this other behavior he's doing and then redirect that energy and excitement into the balls versus him going into this neurotic behavior, right? Good boy. Good. All right. Nope. Good. Ready? Get it. Go get it. Hold it up, baby. Good boy. That's good. That's good. And notice I'm not doing 2 balls. I'm not doing any of that because I'm very aware of and cognizant, there's my big word again, cognizant and aware of his behavior in regards to this. And I am a little bit of territorial, a little bit of resource guarding. He didn't growl. He let me have it. And I'm going to let him keep it until we go over to the kennel. Good boy. Good. Yep. Good boy. Yep. Good. Over the last 2-3 days, we're on the 4th day now. We've really gotten a lot of reading the dog, his personality, his attitude, and now we're running into this next stage, which is to start developing, right? And start to work on developing where his head's at overall, right? Good, good. There you go. Now you hear about Caesar's kind of the one that coined the phrase for so many years on his show, energy. And we used to get in a lot of arguments in that, not arguments, but heavy discussion is a better way of saying it. Good boy, good. Yep, come on, let's go. Notice how he's laying down on top of the ball. I don't want him going to resource guarding and pretty soon trying to get protective of that item. Good. Oh yeah, hut. All right, we're done. We're done. And now what I'm going to do, he doesn't know done. So I put my hand in a position that I can nip him down when I put this out of sight. Nope. Nope. We're done. Done. You understand me? We're done. Good boy. We're done. Good. He doesn't know it, so we're going to slowly teach it to him. Jezzy, quiet. I got to start putting a bark collar on her because she gets wound up and she starts barking. He's right next door to Jezzy. I put her in there to take his mind off of the boredom. See, this is where these behaviors start. They start from boredom. And remember what we're talking about, energy. We're going to go back to that conversation. Energy. Hey, easy. That was a reaction wanting the ball. He's right into excitement because I just got done with the ball and his brain is still kind of there. So, energy, excitement. You hear about it all the time with Malinois, and you see all these videos, the Malinois in the front yard where the whole yard's torn up and he's got huge holes in it. All that energy with nothing to do and nowhere to go with a dog like this is going to end up going into things that you may not be happy about. You tear up your sprinklers, tear up your whole yard. They do all kinds of things because you haven't directed the dog's energy and emotional states of mind to do something. Take it somewhere. Take all that energy he's got and put it somewhere to productive, right? Instead of letting the dog get to a neurosis and sit out in the backyard and do nothing but chase shadows all day, right? So the customer last night, told me that he chases dust. He does it at night because he's trying to get away from the fact that I'm talking about shadow or light chasing, right? Doesn't matter where the behavior happened. Was he chasing flies? Was he chasing bees? Was he chasing shadows, light? Doesn't matter. Where does the dog's head go when he starts that behavior? Where's his emotional states of mind when he starts this? And then it grows and gets more and becomes a neurotic behavior, right? That's what you care about. I still call it, even if it started with chasing dust at night, it doesn't matter because the dog is still in this mental behavior, mental, emotional state of mind when he's doing this that we coin as shadow chasing and light chasing, right? Because that's a lot of times where it comes from. Doesn't matter where it came from. It matters that what I see now is a neurotic behavior that we call shadow chasing or light chasing, right? And it could start from a lot of different, but where does the real crux of all of it start? Where does it start and where does it manifest and how does it become something that's a problem? Boredom. not doing anything with the dog. You've got to work his mental with a dog like this as much as the physical. So in other words, when we're talking energy and being energetic. There's a certain amount of that that's physical, right? Physical, not being tired, having all kinds of energy in yourself, and you're, balls to the walls. That's energy that might be physical. But with these dogs, there's a lot of emotional energy, and you need to learn to understand it and put it somewhere. Get it to work for you. That's why these dogs are one of the best dogs. If you go out and you look at law enforcement, 9 out of 10 dogs in the back of that car are Malinois. There's a reason for that. But all that energy can be put to use in a law enforcement aspect, going out and locating the suspect, doing their job. That's excellent for this dog. That's what he's been bred for, right? He's been bred to do a job. He started out as a herder, is what they started out doing a job. But as that industry changed over there and they no longer had the open fields and all the sheep out there and doing herding, and the lifestyle wasn't just farming and doing their thing on the ranch, raising sheep for slaughter and all that, then there was a transition. So they started to go after doing these heavy sports and protection and law enforcement. That became a big part of us. It really started and took off back in the 70s and the 80s when I was first starting. Schutzen was just coming over to the States, and I was around that outside edge of the Schutzen. I've never got into it any more than just being on the outside edge of it, getting to know the decoys, doing what I need to do to get the services I need to build the product that I feel that I'm pretty good at, right? Remember the criteria of a personal protection dog. A dog I can take any place with me, friendly and fine, but if I tell him to eat you, he's going to, okay? And that's deterrent factor. And then there's all kinds of customization that you can do with a really well-trained personal protection dog, right? So that's what I specialize in. Yeah, good boy. That's a brother, son. That's a brother, son. Yeah, good boy. Good. Good boy. Good. He's getting used to me all the more. He's not used to being grabbed the jowl and petting him heavy. Good boy. That's good. That's good. He feels a little put off by it. He puts off by it. Yeah, good boy. Yep. Good boy. Good. Boy, yeah, brothers. All right, we're out of here, guys. So that's some of my yakking this morning. It comes to mind when I start. Here he goes. Yep. Nope. Good. Good. So it comes to mind right away when I started. Nope. Ignoring him, and I'm doing my own thing. Nope. Good. He starts his mental brain, his emotional states of mind go to this behavior. It's a neurotic behavior, right? Good boy. Good. Done. Good. All right. I got no more hot dogs, so we're not going to go back in the crate. I'm going to put him back. We'll be working him a lot because I've got all this little stuff to touch, all these little places to keep building on, right? I've got to get him through this and get him into a kennel and make him feel warm and fuzzy thoughts about that kennel, so that I can load him up and we can start going bye-bye. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. All right, let's go. Come on. Good boy. All right, talk to you guys later. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, and good boy. Good. Hey, where are you supposed to be? All right, talk to you guys later.